salute you for the things you bear. Despite the shame and rejection, you chose to play the right part. From the day of conception, long before the vomiting start, you made up your mind to love me. You never tried to throw me away. You didn't abort your firstborn like some of them young girls today. You've always been my support throughout the years. In my darkest days, I caused you so many tears. You always pick me up anytime I fall. So I'm putting you right up on a pedestal. Time to step forward and show your face. Mommy, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the family. Oh, yo, 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 boy. Ba-dam, 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 bam, bam, ba-dai. Woman, Grenadian woman, the most authentic woman on earth. Woman, Caribbean woman, come on and show them what you are worth. Female leaders like Queen Nanny, join the Maroon Rebellion. Our own dear sister Jacqueline Creff killed you in the revolution. A former minister of education, trying to install hope in the youth. Yet she was so brutally gunned down, but Grenadians never paid tribute. Now me a Motley and Kamla Bisesa is proof of confidence in a female leader. So based on our political atmosphere, I am proud to emulate Sister Emmeline Pierre. My dear, time to step forward and show your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. Nobody cannot point finger in your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the country. Ba-dam, 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 ba-dai. Woman, black woman, superior because of your melanin. My queen, woman, beautiful woman. Now is the time to show off your skin. Michelle Obama and Oprah make history in America. Nicki Minaj and Rihanna spreading the black Caribbean culture. Eugenia Charles and Rosa Parks, Winnie Mandela from Africa, an outstanding black female figure, well respected the world over. The role that women play in the world today could never be underestimated, no way. From sports to culture, politics to religion, most women making a valid contribution. Time to step forward and show your face. Woman, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in life's race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Woman, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up up and take your place universally. Oh, yo, 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 yo. I salute you for the things you bear. Despite the shame and rejection, you chose to play the right part. From the day of conception, long before the vomiting start. You made up your mind to love me. You never tried to throw me away. You didn't abort your firstborn like some of them young girls today. You've always been my support throughout the years. In my darkest days, I caused you so many tears. You always pick me up anytime I fall. So I'm putting you right up on a pedestal. Time to step forward and show your face. Mommy, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the family. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Param, 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 pam, pam, param. Woman, Grenadian woman, the most authentic woman on earth. Woman, Caribbean woman, come on and show them what you are worth. Female leaders like Queen Nanny, join the Maroon Rebellion. Our own dear sister Jacqueline Creff killed you in the revolution. A former minister of education, trying to install hope in the youth. Yet she was so brutally gunned down, but Grenadians never paid tribute. Now me a Motley and Kamla Bisesa is proof of confidence in a female leader. So based on our political atmosphere, I am proud to emulate Sister Emmeline Pierre. My dear, time to step forward and show your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in this race. Stand up and take your place. Nobody cannot point finger in your face. Emma, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in the country. Param, 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 pam, pam, param. Woman, black woman, attach your politics to religion. Most women making a valid contribution. Time to step forward and show your face. Woman, stand up and take your place. Show them you are a woman of grace. Stand up and take your place. You are my number one in life's race. Stand up and take your place. I'm singing to you right now just in case. Woman, stand up and take your place. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place in society. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Stand up and take your place universally. Oh, yo, 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 yo.
In my father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh, yo, walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. The day was not so moving, but before I got to bed, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so different if Jah didn't love me. Love me. I say things could have been so very different if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. I say, Jah build it. Jah build my house. On solid rock I stand. Oh, my Father, oh Lord, they can break it down. The weather keep on changing in a funny kind of way, but I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can't say. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if Jah didn't love me. Love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man could break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can tear it down. No way. Jah build it. My father build my house. Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jah say. So I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. But the devil keep on setting stones and pieces in my way. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so gloomy if Jah didn't love me. Love me. I know things could have been so very foggy if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house.
And Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Nobody couldn't break it down. I say, job in my house. No man can break it down. No way. Job in my house. Nobody couldn't break it down. Tell them he them. Stop it, mama.
Hope that you all have been having a fabulous day today. Hope that the weather was not an impediment to anything that you had to get done.
Alright, job in my house. No man can break it down. I say, job in my house. Nobody can break it down. No way. Job in my house. On solid rock, I stand in here. I am. Job in my house.
Yeah, you know, I started and I didn't get my ginger tea, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Walking with my father and dinner. Job in my house. With your love in my heart, I know I can.
You know, I just found that song the other day, and I just like it, you know. I find it is very, very timely. Yeah, and it speaks to the house. So you understand how the thing goes, you understand?
If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh, yo.
So expect to hear me playing that one a lot coming up. Eh?
Walking in the footsteps of the Lord. Wake up in the
Good night to you, Camille Teresa Scott.
morning.
Again, you shout out early tonight, yeah?
And before I eat my
Mr. and Mrs. Watts,
bread, brother man, I
Matthew and Patricia,
get on my knees and I give your praise. The day was
Martin McDonald and Mrs. McDonald,
not so moving, but
Mr. and Mrs. Crookshank,
before I got to bed, brother man, I
Mr. and Mrs. Maureen McPhill and Mr. Hudson McPhill. A special good night to both of you. Know that you're locked in and listening as usual.
get on my knees and I give your praise.
Helen Marie, good night to you.
Cause things could have been so different if you didn't love me.
Mommy George, good night.
Love me. I say,
And let me say a special good night to all of the constituency caretakers, candidates, MPs of the new National Party.
things could
Well, you know, they don't officially become candidates until after nomination day. Yeah, right. But the constituency caretakers, nice, yeah.
have been so very different if you didn't love me. Job in my house. No man can break it down.
No man can break down this house, yeah?
Job in my house. No man can break it down. I say, job in my house. Nobody can break it down. Job in my house. No man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Job in my house. No man can break it down. No way. Job in my house. Nobody can break it down. I say, Jah feel it. Jah.
Yeah, I just love that song. Folks, let me just run through the various activities that we're going to be having. Yes, remember Sunday, don't do like me and forget Sunday is Father's Day. Eh? Yeah, my father is long gone to the great beyond. So, but I just, twisting around the mic. Yeah, nice, right, yeah. So, Sunday is Father's Day, and of course, we say a special early Happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. The St. Andrew Northeast constituency branch, they present their annual pre-Father's Day dinner. That's taking place this Saturday from 4 p.m. and it's going to be happening at Graves in Conference St. Andrews. So that's taking place from 4 p.m. this Saturday. The St. Andrew Northeast New National Party branch having their Father's Day dinner. Yeah, they have that every year and so on. Good night to you, Honorable Kate, Skeeter, Lois Peters, and the little one who I know is with you listening as well. And to your husband, my good father. Good night to you, sir. And remember, St. John, the St. John constituency branch of the new National Party, they have a meet and greet coming up. That's going to be taking place not this Sunday, not Father's Day Sunday, no, but the following Sunday, yes, from 2 p.m. So the St. John community, they're going to be having a meet and greet. Grand Roy and surrounding communities. So Mr. Alvin Dabrio, he will be in your neck of the woods. Well, we know he does always be there, but he come in for a special meet and greet now. All right? And you'll have the opportunity to discuss issues that matter to you, share your ideas and suggestions, and of course, this is your chance to make a difference in your community and help shape the future. So that is going to be taking place not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. in the Grand Roy and surrounding communities. So looking forward to seeing you all there. I might come and walk with you in Alvin. You know your boy already and St. John. Right. The New National Party St. George Northeast Women's Committee, they're having their breakfast sale this Saturday. All right, this Saturday. So you know tomorrow the ladies going out and get the goodies and so that they could prepare very early on Saturday morning and getting it nice, warm, and fresh. All right, from 6 a.m. this Saturday in front of Nick's shop in Bolio. It's the breakfast sale by the New National Party St. George Northeast Women's Committee. So looking forward to that one. Yeah, they're going to have all kind of nice things. Make sure you head on out and check them. They're going to have little drinks and sale, all them kind of thing. You never know. You might even win a prize when you go there, you know. Right, so that's taking place this Saturday in front of Nick's shop in Bolio. Saturday the 14th of June, the day before Father's Day, from 6 a.m. The St. George Northwest Youth Group, they're having their barbecue fundraiser that's taking place this Saturday as well from midday. So you get your breakfast in St. George Northeast, then you head over to the Northwest for your lunch. So they've got barbecue, and that will be taking place in front of the Happy Hill Post Office from midday. You're going to hear the music. You're going to see they have drinks on sale. Nice. And they have nice, good food. When St. George Northwest do barbecue, you must, especially the youth arm there, I don't know what it is with them. That does make the barbecue different to everybody else. It does have a different taste. All right? So price of the tickets, only $20. So you can go on there. In fact, you don't need a ticket to just go and buy the barbecue. You understand? Nice. Yeah, go and buy the barbecue. Support the St. George Northwest Youth Group as they have their barbecue taking place this Saturday from midday. And the St. Andrew Northwest New National Party Group, they're having their breakfast and lunch at Birch Grove Community Center taking place next week, Saturday. So next week, Saturday, the day before you go by Uncle Alvin, all right, you're having that breakfast and lunch at the Birch Grove Community Center. So you're getting breakfast there, then you could go do what you have to do and come and get your lunch. So you're going into Grenville, you could pass, you could get your breakfast in Birch Grove at the community center. When you finish do what you're doing, you could pass and buy your lunch to take home for the family and so. All right, so you're getting your breakfast and lunch. Yes, those of you that want to order and think, you will get a number for you to order if all you want to order all your lunch, because all you're down in Grenville, but you want to show your support and you can't leave work to go up and you want to show your support, we will get a number for you to call and think, man, don't worry, we will set you up nicely. That is taking place next week, Saturday, that breakfast and luncheon at the Birch Grove Community Center. Fluffy, Uncle Fluff. Ram. Come, all you make sure all you pass and get a look at something there. Nice, right. Yeah, the New National Party Support Group in New York, they cordially invite you to attend an exquisite affair, an evening of elegance, style, and class. That's taking place Saturday, June the 21st, next week, Saturday as well. But this one is going to be in New York, starting from 9 p.m. Music by DJs Jude and Small Clothes for the very small price of only $100. Of course, get your lovely wear out and wear your lovely wear. Yeah? Wear your lovely wear. It's going to be taking place at the Carriacou Hall, 196 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11234. And for tickets, you see the ticket numbers there. The people to contact: Aisha Oliver, Kathy Albert, Wendy McGuire, P.D. Francis, and Sharon Caesar. In attendance will be political leader of the New National Party, the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, Deputy Leader, Senator the Honorable Norland Cox, and the man himself, former Prime Minister, Chairman of the New National Party, the boss himself, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, will be in attendance. Yeah, I'll watch. I want to see the suit Dr. Mitchell put in. There's where some sharp suit and thing there, you know. Yeah, man. I have to get some suit like Dr. Mitchell and thing. Nice. St. George Northwest Constituency Branch, they're having their breakfast and luncheon. That's going to be taking place the last Saturday of June, on the 28th of June at the Bourgeois playing field from 7 a.m. until music. And of course, they're going to be having drinks on sale, $20 each. And again, I tell you, when St. George Northwest watch, when NNP and General cook, you're getting the real deal. You understand? We symbolize the house, and the house have nice kitchen inside it. You understand? Yeah, the house have nice kitchen inside it. So when we cook, believe me, man, you're biting finger, all kind of thing they even watch. So that's taking place on Saturday, the 28th of June. Yeah, Saturday, 28th of June at the Bourgeois playing field from 7 a.m. until. All right, and then we have Kelani, and you can assist Young Kelani by going to Cooperative Bank, asking for the name Kelly George, account number 107063547, or Nexa Credit Union, and ask for Melian Francois, and account number 221553100, and make your donation. As I said, we don't mind if it's $5. If 1,000 people give $5, we reach a long way towards paying the medical bills for this little one, right? Yeah? And you have the details there. And let me say a special good night to, Goose, man. Goose, good night to you, man. I saw a news article with Goose somewhere, and I have to double check and get that one. And of course, you know what has always happened, because I just have that one on silent, so I can't play anything unless I move that. So let me move that there, and let me fix that audio over on this side here. Nice, right. So let me play that ad for you now. All right, nice. Hey, why me I don't want to play this?
3. Or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. WeNoise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. WeNoise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact WeNoise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed, folks. And folks, you will hear a little banging and knocking every now and again in the background. There is some construction taking place at my location. So you will hear a little bit of banging, a little bit of knocking, them kind of thing. Every now and again, you will hear a little bang, bang, bang. Door is not somebody banging down my door. It is some construction that's taking place next door. So you will hear a little noise in and between every now and again. All right, folks, the phone lines are open, 1473-440. 7377, but remember, you can only call us on the WhatsApp. You can only call us on the WhatsApp on that number. And before I get the first call, let me go into this particular video. Compliments GBN News. Let's hear this particular story, and it's a very interesting story, Yeah, let's just hear this story here.
Decline in revenues with a 72% drop in April 2025. The IMA generated only EC $10.1 million, a substantial decrease from EC $46.5 million in April 2024. The decline has raised concerns about the government's reliance on citizenship by investment funds. The overall revenue shortfall for April was EC $41.4 million, with total current revenue decreasing from EC $133.2 million to EC $91.8 million. Opposition leader Emmeline Pierre expressed concern about the shortfall in projected revenue, stating that it could negatively impact the economy. The New National Party is particularly concerned about the revenue shortfall for the period January to April 2025, which exceeds $9 million.
Government needs to look and pay serious attention to other sources of revenue and how important it is to stimulate the economy, encourage and facilitate economic activities so that we can increase revenue collection. And so when we look at this situation, we are extremely concerned about the implications of this for the ordinary people, those who are not able to be paid for contracts they've already completed. We are concerned what the shortfall can mean as it relates to medication in health facilities. We are concerned about what the shortfall can mean to even a child that is not able to benefit from the school feeding program.
Yes, folks, so you've heard our political leader there speaking on the issue of the revenue shortfalls. Yeah, the projected income of the government of Grenada has been consistently, for the first quarter of Grenada, they've been missing their targets by 7 million here, how much million there. So they've not been meeting the targets of the amount of money that they need. It means, therefore, that in order to fund what government needs to do, they will have to find alternative means of funding that. It could be, remember they have the okay, they gave themselves the okay to borrow up to $800 million. So it could be that they're going to utilize that facility that they have in place to borrow money. But already Grenada is in the top 10 countries, indebted countries right now. Yeah, of small island developing states, Grenada is in the top 10. Yeah, and we've seen significant borrowing. Now, under the New National Party, when you saw borrowing, the New National Party from 2013 going forward, and even before that, but especially after Hurricane Ivan, made sure that when they're doing borrowing, that there's certain clauses in there. For one, you've got the hurricane clause in different loans when you're borrowing. So that allows that if there's a hurricane that adversely affects your country, that you would be able to take a moratorium on your loans. You could say, okay, we're not, as they tell the creditors, we will hold off paying for a year or 6 months or 2 years or whatever it is. You have to renew it. If I remember correctly, it's only a specific period of time that you can hold off for, and then you have to go back to Parliament to get the okay to continue, but you can hold off on paying your loans for a period of time. Now, outside of that, yeah, which would give you some additional funds. And remember, this administration did go and tell the creditors that, hey, we are instituting the hurricane clause. So even with the hurricane clause in place, which means that after Beryl, the Minister of Finance issued letters to the creditors of Grenada and said to them, hey, we are not going to be paying you over the next year, over the next, I'm trying to remember the exact figure. And my good friend who's listening, they'll message me and tell me in a short while. But it's for a particular period of time that you tell the creditors that, hey, we'll not be paying you. So you had a situation where you're not paying your creditors. You're not paying them. So it leaves you with more liquid cash. You got over $100 million from CRIF. You got money. Well, we hope that up to now, we are not sure if the money from USAID, that the government of Grenada has gotten and utilized that money from USAID. There was sort of a kerfuffled answer when the question was asked in Parliament about the monies from USAID. So we're not sure if the government did, before the Trump administration came in and started making all the changes, if this NDC government was able to draw down on the USAID funds that were being given to Grenada after Hurricane Beryl. We're not sure if they got it or they didn't get it, and they're insane. Yeah? So you have that. So they got the monies, the 100 million in CRIF. Then they got other monies from different countries, friendly countries and so on, that assisted and organizations. And they've given themselves the ability to borrow over $800 million in the last budget, nearly $1 billion, when you already owe 2.2. During the period of the New National Party, you had the hurricane clause. They instituted the hurricane clause right now. It gave them the ability to not pay, so they should have more money on hand. Yet still, when you're looking on a monthly basis, they're still not meeting their targets. Yeah? They're still not meeting their targets. And because the main focus of this NDC administration has been to raise money through the CBI program. Remember, they had the pipeline with the Russians and they were processing Russians. Who knows if they're still processing Russians? You never know with this government, They could still be processing Russians as far as we know. So they had the pipeline, as they called it, with the Russians, and they got how much of the Russians, and then you saw the Prime Minister trips in over on private jets to Africa, going to Nigeria and different places, and them pushing hard to try and get new people to come into the new areas where you may have gotten 1 or 2 people before, to get loads of these people to come in under the CBI program. And they have failed at doing that thus far because the revenues under CBI, they talk about IMA, under CBI has dropped significantly. Yeah? Even more than they had projected. They had projected that it would go down, but not as much as it has gone down. So they made a projection in 2023, 2024, that come towards the ending of 2024 into 2025, there would be a tapering off, because if you've got 2,000 Russians that you are trying to push through the system, that by that time you can't take new Russians. Well, let me don't say they can't. They were not supposed to, and I know why I'm saying it that way. They were not supposed to be taking new Russians under the program. Yeah? So during that period, we don't know if they did take new, but anyhow, that has tapered off now. They've tried to go into the new markets. That has not been successful. You had government ministers nearly living in Dubai. And as the bloke would call and say every now and again, when it comes to Dubai, the kind of money that they've been spending there, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars a trip. And if they are not paying, and it's private companies or individuals who are paying for those trips, there's a thing called the Integrity in Public Life and Anti-Corruption Act. Have they identified to the Integrity Commission that the trip that a prime minister took via an aircraft that costs probably hundreds of thousands US, has that been declared to the Integrity Commission? Because these things have to be declared. These are gifts, and they have to be declared to the Integrity Commission so that everything is above board. But then remember, according to what we're hearing now, we don't really have an Integrity Commission right now. Yet still we have ministers who are being accused of things. Right now they start to post all kind of things. If they ain't posting prayer, they're posting about the house sale and the house sale through a third party, all kind of thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah? Then you should have absolutely no fear of going to the Integrity Commission. Yeah? And talking about the people standing with you. That's not standing with you. The people around you are attempting to bully Miss Jennifer Simon. They're trying their very best to bully her into silence. That's not standing with you. That's bullying. Standing with you is one thing and offering words of comfort to you and so on. And telling you everything is going to be all right. That's one thing. But what is taking place there is a coordinated attack on Miss Jennifer Simon to attack her, every aspect of her and her being, to try to get her to leave this issue alone. But it is before the Integrity Commission. And until and unless a properly constituted Integrity Commission views this report, does their proper investigation, I'm using my words carefully here, does a proper investigation and gets back to the Grenadian people, this issue will not be left alone. Because had this been 5 years ago, and had the person that these accusations are being made of been a member of cabinet of the new National Party, let me tell you what would have been happening right now. You would have had a protest, people with placards and so stand up in front of the FIU calling for investigation. Wouldn't you? You would have people beating pan and all kind of thing heading up into the ministerial complex. You would have had all sorts of things, and civil society would have found their tongue and been saying a lot in relation to this. We have a caller online. Go right ahead, caller.
Good night, Mr. Scott.
Hey, good night, my dear. How are you doing tonight?
Not so bad.
All right.
You catch the voice?
I ain't make out the voice for you yet at all.
Your mother waiting on the call still. And 5 and
Bonji. Auntie Ann. Oh, God.
Yes, got you.
Don't worry,
Yes,
you know I go fix that because you know Charlie and them go kill me if I don't fix that.
Satiaro doing good at all, you know, sick.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm. Since in November, but we had to talk. I couldn't walk, you know. So we had to talk. So,
And the
you
last
know,
time I
and
see
let me
you,
just
the last time I see you, good by Cami.
yeah, and from that, from November, that was it, yes. I went and do a scan, and that was it, you know.
But I even messaged
Mm,
Charlie the other day, but she didn't tell me anything.
no.
Okay, I'll don't worry. Me and you will talk before the. Well, I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
wake you up, so it will have to be in the morning. I don't want to go and call you after.
Mhm.
And next thing you're sleeping.
I was going to sleep late.
All right.
So if you find anything, you could give me a call.
Okay, my love.
Yeah,
We'll
okay,
definitely
good
do
night.
that. All right, my dear.
Yeah, okay then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my Auntie Anne. Yeah, I really couldn't make out if that means you're not feeling good and should, because believe me, Auntie Anne, if you didn't say Auntie Anne, I could not make out the voice. Believe me. Your voice don't even sound as you. So I will make sure that I give you a call as soon as I am done on air tonight. Yeah, I have to call you, and I have to call 2 people that have to go on a mission for me tomorrow. Yeah, I know they're listening. 2 people that have to go on a mission for me tomorrow. I have to give them a call as well. 1473-440-7377. So understand what is taking place here. And as the political leader has mentioned, it is going to cause several issues in relation to government's ability to pay for goods and services. Yeah? So people who are supplying goods and services to various parts of government, it could be something as the general hospital, those who are supplying medication to the general hospital, who are supplying other services to the general hospital. Government's inability to meet its mark in relation to revenue collection can be reflected by their ability to pay some of the people who are supplying things like the important stuff to the schools, who are supplying important stuff to the hospitals. It is going to affect their ability to deal with those things. Also, a shortfall in revenue. And I'm not going to go so far yet as to say in relation to salaries and so. Let me pray that thing get touched, that okay and thing. Right, yeah, we ain't talking salaries yet. But when it comes to people who are doing projects, because already you see them having to scramble. After the Royal Patterson article, after folks out of Carriacou started complaining, and after the hardware stores in Carriacou took their stand and decided we're not putting out any money again, when you had the minister and them boasting that they spend how much money in Carriacou, when you did hear the true story, it's a situation that the folks in Carriacou can't get material because of the present situation regarding payments by government. The Prime Minister this week promised that the checks should be ready already and the folks would be getting their checks by tomorrow. So let's hope, because you know the kind of weather we've been having and will continue to have, we hope that those folks can get the material so that the mother, who is tonight once again spending the night with her 4 children in a tent out there in Carriacou, that mother does not have to go through that situation for very long again. Yeah? Let's hope that the people up in Petit Martinique, who up to now, they can't get one finished Build Back Better house. Since we were hearing $3 billion in January, this is June, another J. And we can, and maybe in July till they really get it, so the final J. So up to now, they can't get one Build Back Better house in Carriacou. They decided they're not sending any prefab. Yet still, you have people who are living in Petit Martinique. I said Carriacou, Petit Martinique. You have people living in Petit Martinique in tents up to this day, the 12th day of June 2025. You still have people living in tents in Petit Martinique. Yeah? So let us hope that government finds a way to rectify its issues in relation to revenue collection, because there are only certain ways they could do it, you know. They could hit us with more taxes on the port, because right now, things are croconius with this government when it comes to revenue collection, that before the month could finish good, the people on the port getting called, the finance department there is being called. How are you doing? How much money are you collect so far? How things looking? Middle of the month, they're getting called. Third week in the month, they're getting called. How are they looking? How revenue collection going? They're desperate for the money out of the port. But remember, the charges that you're facing on the port are being passed on to us, the consumers. So while they're desperate to get the money off of the port, that means that they are making absolutely no moves there to lower the cost for the businesses that are bringing in the food stuff. And so, because Grenadians, majority of our food stuff, when you walk into a supermarket or so, comes from outside. And they are making no effort, none, to ensure that the price of those goods and so go down. When you hear the price of certain things in other countries nearby, and then you hear the price of food stuff in Grenada, you wonder what is really going on. And the government is making no attempt to lower that. We have shown you the consumer price index for the first quarter of this year. And it clearly states that between last year and this year, there have been significant increases in various areas. Fresh fruits and vegetables is nearly 17%. Yeah, in all those different areas, they've seen significant increase. Meats in general, meats, whether it's mutton, whether it's pork, whether it's beef, whether it's poultry, significant increases in the price of those things between year before and last year, then last year and this year. So we're seeing an upward trend in relation to prices, and government is doing nothing to send that trend downwards. So when you go into the supermarket, when you go into Carriacou, when you go into Foodland, when you go into Food Fair, when you go into any of those Real Value or wherever, and you used to full your trolley and level your trolley, and you know that if you level your trolley, you're spending, let's say you're spending 700. You go and you do the same thing now, and when you reach up to the cashier, you realize you're over $1,000. And that's a fact, and you're buying the same things that you were buying at that time last year. The same items. You could actually pull a list, the same list that you used last year June, and you go this year June. And if you used to fill up a trolley for 700, and I know on the lower end, if you used to fill up a trolley for 700, you know right now when you fill that trolley is 1,000 plus. And what is the administration doing for the elderly people who they can't fill a trolley? They have to get just the very basics and try and make it how they could. So they have to get flour, sugar, milk, some oil, cooking oil, and so on. They have to get the very basics. They can't go and say they're buying ham and spam and all these kind of thing and corn beef. They have to forget all of that. They have to get the very basics and see if they could get some saltfish or something. And some of these things are not the best things for them. Yet still, some of these elderly people have been taken off of the seed program, and now they are left to face these increasing prices. Simply because somebody find there are 2-3 children, and one of the children may have gotten a job, and all of a sudden you say, well, okay, they had that child or the grandchild working, they could give them some money. That is what they're doing, you know. And taking people off of programs like the seed program. So you have that sort of situation. Then you have the unemployed mothers, like the mother that we always speak about up there in Pearls. Good night to you, Kimita. Yeah? Who was sent home, and her mother was sent home, and her sister was sent home, and her brother has a medical issue, she has a medical issue, whose home was destroyed in the hurricane. How do they make it? When every month you're seeing significant increases in relation to the price of food and things like medication, because they have medical conditions. So even if they're on medication, sometimes they can't even afford the medication. And last night, as we heard, when you go to St. Patrick, you go to St. Mark, and you go to St. John, diabetics can't even get medication, and that is setting up for a dangerous situation. Things like amputation, and they can't even do the amputation because, again, the autoclave at the hospital is not working. Sometimes they get it to work, then it shut down again. So they cannot sterilize the various bits and pieces of equipment that they need to use to do a surgery. And that's a fact, because I was able to show you the documentation in relation to it. And they can't say we lie. We were able to show you the documentation in relation to that. And this is what they don't want us speaking about. They don't want us speaking about that. You know, the NDC would be very happy if I were to come here every night and spend the entire program talking about myself. They would be very happy if I came here every night and made an entire program just about me. That ain't gonna happen. I'm the least of the apostles. I'm not important. You, the Grenadian people, are important. The elderly out there who catching the nenen at a point in time that they're supposed to be relaxing. Your grandmothers, your parents, your great-grandparents who are out there right now and at this time should be enjoying the best of life because they should be relaxing, sit down in the rocking chair. People that still are rocking chair, I know not see a rocking chair. Sit down in the rocking chair and relaxing themselves. Sit down in the veranda and watching the neighbors pass and telling them hello and hi. And being able to go at least and get the medication for the diabetes so that they don't lose a toe, that lead to them losing to a foot, that lead to them losing a leg, that lead to them losing their life. We should not be having those sorts of situations taking place. Thank God for the American ship that came, the Comfort. Because had it not been for that, many, many Grenadians may have gone to the great beyond because they would have been unable to do the surgeries that they are getting done now. If it wasn't for that ship, many Grenadians who had various medical complaints may not have been able to get diagnosis or to get a second opinion or so on because they cannot afford it. So that's why you see people willing to go and stand up there in the rain, because they know if they don't do that, there will be no opportunity otherwise for them. Because while the government is talking about Mount Sinai and putting how much $1 million into the hands of Mount Sinai, your autoclave in your hospital that is used to sterilize your equipment to be used in surgery is not working. But you're putting millions of dollars in the hands of others. It shows directly where your priorities are. We've got a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night, my dear. How are you tonight?
Good. I just wanted to give a little public service announcement.
Go right ahead, my dear.
You remember last year the Grenada nurses came down with a medical and vision mission.
Yes.
So this year, just the vision will be coming separate, and they will be in Grenada from November 10th to the 14th, and they'll be doing cataract surgery. I'll be accompanying them, but the rest of the nurses members would not be.
Let me just make sure. So when are they coming to do the cataract surgeries?
November 10th to the 14th.
Because I know there was someone who had contacted me, and I hope that individual is listening right now. Oh God, I seriously pray that individual is listening right now. They had contacted me at the last time when there was the medical mission a couple months ago. They contacted me, and the problem was that they were too late and they were not referred to get their cataract surgery done.
Exactly. So that's why I'm calling ahead of time to let them know that they can go down to the clinic. I think they should see Dr. Julian and get assessed, and she'll put them on the list. So by the time we come down, which is in November, they'll be on the list already. Because the last time when we came, the last day, a few people contacted me and it was too late because you have to do pre-op. So you have to come in ahead of time. You have to get evaluated, and when we come down there, you have to come and do the pre-op teaching, because certain things you have to do and you can't do, do's and don'ts. So when they come ahead of time, they have to get the pre-op teaching so they could know what to do. So I'm letting them know early that to try to get on the list so that they won't be turned away when the time comes.
No, and that's the thing. So I'm hoping that individual is listening, and I'm hoping that they reach out to me. I think they should have my personal number. If they don't, they can WhatsApp me on the studio number, and I will put you in direct contact with them, because I want to ensure that their surgery is done. There's also a husband and wife, I remember, and they were calling me from somewhere in the countryside. And they had I'm trying to remember, it's the wife, I believe, had the eye issue, and they did not get the opportunity to get that surgery done. So I'm hoping that both individuals could get in contact with me, so I can put them in contact with you, so that they wouldn't miss this opportunity. Continue to remind us on air each week, at least one day in the week, Make sure you remind us about this.
I will. I will. And next year we're trying to do a medical mission again, but that's in the making. We just started doing that, but definitely the vision part this year.
While I'm a male, let me say as well that one medical mission that we really need to see for Grenada is in the area of gynecology. It is an area that I think we urgently need some backup on when it comes to Grenada. There are many women suffering with various levels of gynecological issues. You know how to stop my tongue when I try to say that.
Yes.
It's Latin thing. But they are suffering with various issues like that, and they need assistance. Some of them cannot afford to go to the private gynae. They cannot afford to go. And if an opportunity is afforded to them, it may save some lives, because we keep seeing some people in their 20s and 30s and early 40s dying with cancer and
cervical cancer. And I told them of the HPV. Yes.
And I'm seeing quite a number of young ladies, and I'm speaking about ladies who have not yet gotten to 35, and they've had to have surgery to have, basically their womb removed.
That's why they need to start doing the pap smear early, Sheldon. They have to go at least at age 21. Start doing the pap smear so it can be detected. You wait too long, it's too late.
I know of at least three under the age of 35 they've had to have their womb removed.
The thing is, for the GYN, you will need you're gonna need either nurse practitioners or doctors, because the regular nurses, thing. So you need at least nurse practitioners and doctors to do that. And we don't have a lot in the association. It's like what? It's like 4 of us. So unless we could. We could try to do that, discuss that and see what's going on, but we need the equipment and we need all of that stuff. And like I said, it's only about 4 of us. The rest are just RNs. So you need nurse practitioners to do that. Even for the prostate check, you need nurse practitioners or physicians to do those things.
And listen, I want somebody be brave enough to do this. Get a unit, go on the St. George's bus terminal and give a prostate exam to all them busmen.
Why, they afraid?
Of course they're afraid. And the thing is that every now and again you realize a busman just missing from the line, and when you ask what happened, boy, that man gone down, because they're spending a lot of time sitting and driving and eating everything and eating any and anything, drinking any and anything, and just driving and sitting, and they're not going and do their medical and so on. So I think it would be a good opportunity to go on the St. George bus terminal and offer it free to them. Prostate exams. Either you take it or you don't take it. But bottom line, and I do mean bottom line, you're going to know if anything needs to be checked out or so. Because the earlier you catch these things is always the better for you.
Sheldon, 90% of the male patients I see have prostate issues. Almost all of them on the medication.
Well,
that's something to be checked.
I did my first prostate exam before I took the age of 40.
Yeah, and I tell people that do it early. Early detection is the best.
The doctor didn't want to do it.
You don't want to wait.
He said, but you're not 40 years old yet. I said, I saw how my father died with this thing. I ain't going down so. I saw what happened with my father. I ain't going down so. So I took my exam, the early exam. I was about 36, and I took the first exam. I said, I ain't waiting until I'm 40.
No, it's best with now, and then the time drawing closer and closer. They want you to do stuff. You have to check. I lost my dad to prostate cancer, Sheldon, and as I tell folks, I said, if he was if he was right living with me, I think he would have been here with me right now.
My father was a bodybuilder, so he was a very muscular man. And to see my father go from being that muscular person down to what he became at the end of that, where I could have basically left him with
the same with my dad. In a few months, he just went down, and when I actually passed him in the hospital, because for a few months when he was going down, and I said, Dad, I'm coming to visit, and he'd be like, don't come today. And look at my son was saying to ourselves, we say, my son was saying, that's not Grandpa Ozzy. He always wants us to come. Why he keeps saying that this time? He know he's getting sicker, so he just didn't want us to know, and he didn't want us to see him like that. And by the time I really saw him, when I did agree, was when he was in the hospital, and it was on his last few months. He deteriorated so quickly. And I said I would call him even though when I don't go to see him. I say, Dad, you got your checkup? Yes, everything is okay. But sometimes they don't want to tell you.
Here is what we're saying, nurse. Sunday is Father's Day. And we are talking points are encouraging all fathers, if you want to be able to see another Father's Day, get your prostate exam before the end of the month of June, or at the very latest before the end of the month of July. And we're saying to the children, and we're saying to the wives, and we're saying to the brothers and the sisters of the fathers, Father's Day, make sure whatever gift you're giving them, you also give them the gift of a doctor visit. Go and check your prostate and do your
And
PSI.
it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be ashamed of. You're in there with maybe 1-2 person. Nobody has to know. You go and get the prostate check. Get it. It can save your life.
It's better you get that done than you go through what I see my father went through. So I'm telling you.
I know what mine went through too, Sheldon. So I know. That's why I always say it. I know what mine went through too, and he could have been here. But
So Father's Day, you can't do it on Father's Day because it's a Sunday. So we know. So Father's Day, Monday, the day after Father's Day, go and get the thing checked. Yeah. If we save one life tonight, and ladies, do your breast exam and so on.
Yeah. Get your pap smear. Get your breast, your mammo, get those things, because like I said, too many people, breast cancer is like you turn around, and my mom lost 3 of her friends already in the last 2 years with breast cancer. So get all of those things, get them.
Yeah, do your
early
blood test.
detection is the best. Yes. And even if they don't want to get their prostate checked, just get the blood test, because that can give you an indication as to whether or not something is going on there too. So your blood test can tell you that too. So at least get the blood test, and then they'll take it from there.
Indeed. Nurse Wendy, we'd like to thank you so much. Always full of information that can save a life. And we hope that at least what we've said tonight goes home to at least one person. If at least one person go and check.
At least one person, we did our job.
Yeah, at least if they could catch it early and they're good to go, we know that we've done something. Yeah.
Yes, have a good night, Sheldon.
Same to you, my dear. All right, have a wonderful one.
Take care, we'll talk. We'll chat.
All right.
Okay, bye.
All right, so the people who are talking about there who know they contacted me before in relation to that thing, make sure that you all get in contact with me so that we could sort out this thing. Yeah, make sure that we could sort out this thing so that you could go and get your eyes sorted out. Yeah? Because I only want to see and hear you, I want you to see and hear me too, right? So we want to be able to interact with each other for years to come. So we want to make sure that you could get that sorted out. Folks, 1473-440-7377. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. We have an issue we're going to deal with in a short while. But before that,
there is going to be some rejoicing. The process is painful. Being told that, healthcare has not been improved for the past 2.5 years is a fact. It has not been improved.
Yes, now we say it. Yeah, now we say it. The video we say about healthcare?
2.5 years is a fact. It has not been improved in the way that you would expect to see it.
Right, so it has not been improved in the last 2.5 years. So now we say it. The minister said. All right, the minister is the one that said that healthcare has not been improved in the last 2.5 years. All right, nice. So again, 1473-440-7377.
In my father's house, there are many mansions.
And I have so much information to deal with tonight. I'm trying to grab and take God. Let me say this, Every time you hear one of those NDC speaking, They like to throw different issues out there at people. So one of them they were throwing is the fowl farm. We have been able to bring the video from the people involved in the fowl farm. Yeah? The chairman and deputy chairman and the lawyer who laid out exactly where the blame in relation to the fowl farm is. So those who want to know about fowl farm and who keep saying they want to ask NNP about the fowl farm, go down wherever Mr. Jude Bernard living. Yeah, Jude Bernard. Go and find him and ask him what was the last thing, because the government was about to transfer the lands in relation to that entity. They were about to take the lands from CEL, Sunset Enterprises Limited, and had it over to the entity that he and others had formed. The government of Grenada under the National Democratic Congress, not under the New National Party, not under Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the New National Party administration, under the NDC administration of Tillman Thomas, with Nazim Burke as the finance minister, they handed $500,000 over to Jude Bernard and friends, who had formed that poultry company. So said Mr. Curtis Batiste, long deceased. Yeah, it was in Scotia Bank. We don't know if 100,000 was spent. We don't know if the 500,000 sitting there. We don't know if Mr. Jude Bernard and them signed the money back to the government of Grenada, or if their company still exists and that money is still there in the company's name. Because remember, any one of them can make a decision on behalf of that company. So go and find them and Mr. Henry Joseph and them and ask them about the $500,000 in relation to the fowl farm. Because it is clear the New National Party wasted no money on the fowl farm. Hurricane Ivan came. That wasn't wasted money. There were things that had to be done that were done. So Sunset Enterprises Limited was able to show where money had been spent for consultancy fees, all the other things that had to take place before you go, because you must test soil, you must decide on the proper type of feed, the proper type of chickens that you're going to bring for the environment that you're there. You have to check on your supply of water. You have to have a proper design that deals with the flow of air and everything for the facility. There are many things that you had to take into consideration. So they needed advisory services, architectural services, all those things had to come into play when they were setting up. Yeah? And they didn't even spend all the money that the government of Grenada had put in by that point in time to deal with all of those things. When Hurricane Ivan struck, they had loans that they did not draw down on, and then government had to make the decision whether to go now to Exim Bank and say, fund the fowl farm, or go to Exim Bank and say, help us to build back houses for people to live, and health centers, and schools. Yeah? Help us to build back Grenada. But yet still you have some people who know nothing, because all they're doing is parroting, you know. You know, it had a parrot in Grenville used to be by Miss Benjamin? Yeah, like that. All they're doing is parroting. They just hear something and they repeat it, but they don't research, they don't do nothing, so they make themselves just fools, just repeating things, just saying things. Similarly, in relation to the shrimp farm, I was going over social media and I saw a good friend of mine make a statement, and then somebody jump under it and say, what about the $54 million for the shrimp farm? I would challenge anybody in the NDC to show where the New National Party government lost any $54 million in relation to the shrimp farm. I'll challenge any member of the NDC any day to bring the proof and show where the government of Grenada owes people in relation to the shrimp farm, or took millions of dollars and spent in relation to the shrimp farm, or if the government of Grenada made money off of the shrimp farm. That did happen, even though the farm was not built in the end. Because what you had happening 2017, I was there when the sod was turned in relation to the shrimp farm. I was right there. I was at the sod turning ceremony. And then you had the situation where they were going out there. At the point in time, you did not have where the escrow accounts, in other words, the monies was going to the developers, and the developers were then paying the government of Grenada what they had to pay them. Yeah, and then they would utilize the rest of the money under the watch of the CBI committee. They would watch now and say, okay, you're doing the project, okay, you have that amount of money, you're doing this. Now, what happened is around 2018 or so, government asked the company, it was CSA, I believe was the name of the company. Let me see if I could get the name of the organization here. Grenada Sustainable Aquaculture. That was the name of that particular company that was supposed to be doing the shrimp farm. So around 2018, I believe it was, the government asked them, listen, you have gotten X amount of money in relation to the shrimp farm. You need to provide to us now an accounting of how that money has been utilized. That was around 2018, right? So the government said to them, show us, you spend the money, show us how that money has been spent. And let me see if I can find, I could show you how the money was spent, you know. Yeah, I could show you. The money that they had up to that point in time, I could show you how that money was spent. Right? Let me see how, let me just go right up to the top of this thing here before I bring it over. Nice. So, this is the 2nd to the 3rd, 2018, Grenada Sustainable Agriculture. That was the chairperson of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Committee, and they were accounting for funds spent thus far under the project up to February of 2018. From the inception, that is 2017, up to 2018. So just about a year or under a year. Because they were getting money, they were getting people bringing money into the program. In other words, they were selling citizenship and giving government what they had to give government in relation to the fees and all of that, and they had the rest of the money to be able to do the project. That it doesn't operate that way again. Because of what took place with the shrimp farm, the government of Grenada put in a clause in the CBI that the money does not go directly to the developers, but it goes into an escrow account that the government would control, and the government, based on how you're rolling out your project, would release money to you over a period of time. That happened because of the way the shrimp farm was operating. Yeah? So these are the expenses, right? Government contribution, 55 applicants at that point in time. 55 applicants by 50,000, that's what they had to pay over to government. $2,750,000. That is paid to the government of Grenada, not paid by the government of Grenada. Due diligence, processing application fees, local agent fees, passport fees, bank fees, etc. That's spent in the state of Grenada again. That's $1,375,000. Commission to the agents, 55 applicants at $75,000. That's $4,125,000. That's the people who got the people to be part of the project and so on. All right, commission advances to agents, that's what they advance. Applications that they had under process at that point in time, so they are not part of the 55 that you're talking about here. They had advanced $350,000 to them. Commissions, internal sales staff, people who were working along with them that were doing sales and so on, they did $275,000. Then you have $1,375,000 here, right? The person that they keep saying is crooked and all kind of thing, and this man is a crook. Mr. Dawadi, one of these days he must come and sue some people here. The man didn't even used to take a salary in relation to this, but this was commissions to the other people in the in the organization, $1,375,000.
Love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if you didn't love me. Job in my house, no man can break it down. I say, job in my house, nobody can break it down. Job in my house, no man can break it down. No way. Job in my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous.
So I'm trying to figure out what took place here, because I realized that without me stopping it, my Facebook Live has gone off. Yeah, my Facebook Live somehow has gone off. And my YouTube, I think I should be back on YouTube, folks. Yeah, it went off for a while there. Are you all back? Yeah. Somebody call me. Let me know if you all are hearing me now. The Facebook Live is gone. That's gone down. And for me to get it back on, I would have to restart the system. And I cannot do that right now. But I realized that the system itself went off for a period there. I see I've dropped right down to, Yeah, so much people are seeing online there now, just about 200 and something. Yeah, and we were up to 700 plus. As soon as we start to talk about certain things, you realize that the internet all of a sudden start to get product. I tell you, something in my system, you know. Yeah, something into my system. Let me see the numbers. Yeah, the numbers start to build back up. Yeah, the numbers start to build back up. Folks, the internet itself went down. Yeah, the internet itself went down. So we're going to have to go over that. We're going to have to go over that again. I am sorry for those who were on Facebook, but that has dropped off. And I would not be able to restart the Facebook. Yeah, I would not be able to restart the Facebook, but the Facebook has gone off. Right. Dillian is hearing me, Kathleen is hearing me, Agnes is hearing me, Denise is hearing me, Hannah is hearing me. Right, yeah. Nice. Yeah, the internet that went down. So it was not me. It's the internet itself went off. It cut off totally. Yeah, and it is now back on. So when I see I cross, let's say when we cross 550, we're going to start the conversation again. We're starting on the shrimp farm from the beginning because we don't want nobody get any wrong here. We're starting back on the shrimp farm from the beginning. Nice. Because I went on for quite a while there. I didn't realize that it was, I saw somebody calling me. I said, but that person know better than to call me during the program. And they were calling me on my mobile. And it's only then I realized that, hey, the program off, you know. And they messaged me what's going on. They're not seeing, and I check and I start to see the messages. Yeah, because even the messages to my phone, because the internet went down, I wasn't getting the messages on my phone either. It went down totally. I'm not sure what took place there, but it went on. So let me just make sure everybody's getting back on.
People, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right.
So make sure and send your messages to your friends that we're back on.
Jah build my house.
Because we had to deal with the shrimp farm thing tonight once and for all.
No man could break it down, I say. Jah build my house. Nobody couldn't tear it down.
Jillian Williams.
No way.
You know we love you.
Jah build it. Me father build my house. Oh Lord. In my father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh yeah. Walking in the footsteps of the Lord.
Yeah, I hope it isn't sticking or anything. Let me know if it is sticking, if there's any problem with it, because I'm not supposed to be having any problem with the internet here. I did speak with the internet provider. They sorted me out properly. Me and them go have a talk about what took place there a while ago. But they sorted me out properly, so we're not supposed to be having any problem regarding the internet. So I'm just making sure I'm not dropping frames or anything.
I wake up in the morning and before I eat my bread, brother man I get
And don't worry, I'm giving you all back your 15 minutes. We're going to 10:15.
on my knees and I give Jah praise.
If necessary.
The day was not so grooving, but before I got to bed, brother man I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so different if Jah didn't love me. I say things could have
So I said we had an internet outage there.
been so very different if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah
Come on, let's see the numbers go back up there.
build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense you try. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down.
If Wendy Ann didn't see that, Wendy Ann, if you didn't say that, you name it Wendy Ann.
I say, Jah build it. Jah
Right, as I said, when we hit 5:50, we're getting back onto the shrimp farm discussion. I'm going to take the extra time tonight and go over it again, starting from scratch.
build my house. On solid rock I stand. Oh, my father, oh Lord, they can break it down.
And all or friends who usually are on Facebook, send them a message, tell them, well, the Facebook went down with the internet. I can't restart it, so we're going to have to continue just on the YouTube.
The weather keep on changing in a funny kind of way, but I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can't say. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if Jah didn't love me.
Yeah, we gave them the song every day.
I say things could have been so very brutal if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house.
Yes, indeed. Jah build this house. Nobody can break it down. So yes, folks, once again, let's go back onto the issue that I was speaking about. As I had mentioned, I have been following on social media over the past few days. And in fact, in some of the cases where folks are attempting to protect and defend the... Right, yeah. No, not talk faster, taking an additional few minutes after 10 o'clock if I need to take it. We're dealing with the shrimp farm tonight, yeah? Because a lot of people have been speaking a lot of falsities out there, and I think that those of us who knew better and know better should be doing better and saying the truth of what happened. Because the story, I was looking at one person post, and this obvious supporter of the NDC, because from their language you can tell, came under their post and was speaking about $54 million for shrimp farm. That NNP take $54 million of Grenadian taxpayer money and sink it into the shrimp farm, which is a total, unequivocal lie. Again, we're going from the beginning. The shrimp farm, the company came in, the CBI company, Grenada Sustainable Aquaculture. They came in to do that project in the year 2017. The sod turning took place up there. I was there in St. Mark at the sod turning ceremony. Yeah? I was there when the ceremony took place and the sod was turned. I had on my nice dan, and I went up there in the mud to turn the sod too. I didn't turn sod, I was watching. Right? That was in 2017. In 2018, so just about a year later, maybe under a year, the government of Grenada, in other words, through the CBI committee decided, hey, let us follow up on this project because people are paying money into it. We are allowing these individuals to sell CBI citizenship, yeah, by investment to people for that project. And as such, we have to make sure that the people are paying into the project and the project is being done. So, the government of the day asked for an accounting of the funds that went into the project thus far. That is in 2018. And on the 2nd of the 3rd month, 2018, yeah, the CBI people, the company, Grenada Sustainable Aquaculture, responded. And when they responded, let me see if the internet go cut off again. If it cut off, stay there. Don't go nowhere. Just keep refreshing. Yeah? So, the chairperson, you see Ms. Keisha Inch, of the Citizenship Investment, Grenada Citizenship by Investment Committee. Right. It says here, account of funds. Oh dear, I didn't put it up yet. Nice, right. Don't wait there. Account of funds spent Grenada Sustainable Aquaculture approved project inception February 2018. Right? And they were written to and asked to account. So the response here, dear Ms. Ince, kindly accept this as official reporting to your committee for account of funds spent by the company and its principal. To date, we have counted 55 completed CBI cases as per previous communications. Right? So they gave a breakdown here of how that money was spent. They had 55 applicants at $50,000 each, $2,750,000. Due diligence processing application fees, local agent fees, passport fees, bank fees, $1,375,000. Commissions by agents, that is $4,125,000. That's the agents that they had that were doing the sales, going out there and get right. Commission advanced the agents that's for applications that they had that were not totally completed yet, but they still paid forward to some of the agents $350,000. Commissions, internal sales staff, so people within the project that got their sales and thing, $275,000, right? Commissions, Mr. Dawoodi, S. Dawoodi, does not take a salary, so that's $1,375,000 in commissions to them there. Client, agent, consultants, entertainment, right? So you bring people in for the project, they want to see what you're doing, and so they want to know what you're doing, right? $250,000. S. Dawoodi, relocation to Dubai, $50,000. That because he was getting people from Dubai to be able to be part of the project. And all of this is not Grenadians' money. These are monies from people that paid into the project. The monies that Grenada got here, Grenada got this money, Grenada got this money up here, right? Those are the monies that Grenada got directly. And you were getting a project that would have provided jobs to Grenadians and generated income in the state of Grenada, right? So you have other things here. The due diligence, you must check and see if the people that you're bringing into the program are good people, that they ain't no criminal and they're trying to wash their money by getting it into the project and so, right? So you have to check with the FBI. You have to check with Scotland Yard. You have to check with the Russian FSB or whatever they call them. All over, you have to check, and you check with Interpol and so on, and make sure this person isn't wanted or involved in any criminal activity and so on, right? So that was $235,000 that they spent in relation to that, to those that were approved in process and to be submitted. Those that were refused, denied cases, they spent $31,000 on those. That's people they find that was kind of crookish. We don't want them in Grenada citizenship program. We don't want to be associated with those people. They spent $31,000 on confirming those people as people they should not have in the program, right? Legal. So you know what that is. For your land papers, your this, your that, your agreements, and all these different documentation and certification and all of that, $117,000. Marketing, advertising, and campaigns. You must market the project. So online, you would have seen this being advertised in different countries. You may have passed through an airport, and you would have seen a billboard that says Grenada Sustainable Aquaculture Project, and so on, to encourage people to want to become part of the project. They spent $1,056,000 in relation to that, their website, social media, agent marketing, all those sort of things, right? They had seminars, 2 days per month in various cities in China, getting Chinese to want to be part of the project, right? Accommodation for the China staff and ambassador, etc., lecture fee, $214,000. Scholarships for China, in China for Grenadian students, they spent $10,000 on Grenadian students in China, that same company, right? Conferences, conference fees, accommodations, flights, meals associated, costs and so on, $329,000. Business travel, $883,000. They went to China, Hong Kong, Taipei, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, Turkey, Portugal, Ukraine, India, Russia, Armenia, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Kingdom, Canada, United States, various parts, Grenada, back and forth to Grenada, Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Brazil. And they spent $883,000 on that. The groundbreaking ceremony that I was at in 2017, $45,000. That way they did not know set up food and things. Anyway, right, yeah. So $45,000. Material printed, $28,000. Yeah, they're opening their Dubai. They opened the office in Dubai so that they could deal with the people in the Middle East. This is not Grenadian taxpayer money. This is money that came into the project. $160,000, $80,000 by 2 years. Therefore, the IT, the computer, iPhone, phone integrations, proprietary, etc., commercial software, $154,000. Equipment, computers, phones, printers, etc., $64,000. Yeah? Communications, for their phones, internet, in Canada, Dubai, Miami, Grenada, Panama, $18,000. Medical insurance, $8,000. Industry subscriptions and journals, because you must know what is going on in the industry if you're going to sell a product to the industry. So they had all the journals and so on that were there, $17,000. Consultant contracts here, and that's why you see some heavy money going there. For the farm, the design of the farm, according to the land and the flow of the water and how the wind blows and everything, that was $2 million. Consultant contract in relation to biofloc. the specialty blend, that is what you feed the animal, the shrimp with and so on, 750,000. Consultancy contract, post-larvae, stress-resistant, prepay hold for delivery. That is for the baby shrimp that they would have brought in and so on. So they had to get a consultancy, what is the best ones to bring in for Grenada's climate, and so $750,000. Consultant contract, feed development specialist to work along with the biofloc and so on, that's 250,000. Equipment deposits on the equipment that they probably was buying from China or wherever to bring into Grenada. They deposited $2,500,000 on that equipment to ship to Grenada. Tech and research and development due diligence, $550,000. They were going to use alternative energy, so they were not going to go into necessarily take all their power from Grenleg's grid, but try to generate as much electricity because it has to be sustainable, right? So they would have generated electricity, $175,000. They did something with National Geographic, Discovery Channel, PBS, and so on, and that cost them $325,000. They have the consultancy contracts here with J. Dowdy, not S, J. Dowdy, L. Ford, and M. So effing, right? So one is $1,500,000, one is $1,800,000, one is $720,000. The advisory board, Nicholson and Stanley, $24,000 each there. Mr. Ford and Agriculture, $24,000. Mr. McCormick, $24,000. Mr. Delgado, $24,000. The environmental impact assessment, because some people don't say them thing in do. $19,000 for the environmental impact assessment. The site clearing, $40,000. Engineering, $23,000. Survey planning submission, $7,500. S. Dowdy and L. Ford project pre-approval cost, $320,000. Buyback paid reserves and premiums, $1,966,000 to a total of $27,734,500. And that is not Grenadians' money. That's people who paid money. Look, they even give their bank account numbers in EC, the EC bank account, and the US bank account, right, in relation to this particular project. And I would like to say at this point, I challenge anybody in the National Democratic Congress to come out and show that this was money that Grenadians had to pay, or Grenadians have to pay. Because they're throwing this figure around at $54 million. Because you see, the thing is, in case you all don't realize from the recent actions of the Prime Minister and other members of the NDC administration, they believe we're stupid enough. These people actually have a belief in their minds and hearts that Grenadians stupid. That is what they believe. They believe that we are not intelligent enough to be able to read and understand. Because this was, remember, 2017 was turning everything. 2018, government asked to account. They say, hey, tell us how you have been utilizing the money that you have been getting from these investors into that project. Because at that time, you did not have the setup of the escrow accounts yet. So the developers were getting the money directly from the CB and then paying to the government of Grenada. Until the government of Grenada decided, no, we're going to set up the escrow accounts. The money will go there in the account that the government of Grenada controls, right? Whoever get the fees and all that sort of thing. But the government of Grenada will control the flow of that money. And the story of that comes back to Kowana as well. So the government of Grenada, after what took place here, because what the committee was saying is, hey, you have timelines and you're missing your timelines. You're supposed to complete certain things by a particular time. And from what we are seeing, you're not meeting your timelines. We are not satisfied with the pace at which you're doing that particular project. It wasn't a situation that you say, well, okay, this person, they go and they thief a pile of money and they run out of Grenada, and now Grenada left holding the bag. Absolute nonsense. Because it was an agreement between the developers and the people who were gaining citizenship through investment as the investors into the program. So if they had to get back the money, they had to get back the money from the developers, not the government of Grenada. The government of Grenada were not the developers. So when these people come to you, I say, you remember I said last night, 3 days I don't deal with stupid people. Today, tomorrow, and yesterday. I don't deal with stupid people on those 3 days or any week. Today, tomorrow, and yesterday. So when these people come to you, if you decide to deal with them, please explain to them. Or in fact, don't even explain to them. Ask them to explain to you how Grenada have to pay $54,000, where Grenada lose any money in relation to this project. I've shown you where Grenada got money out of the project, but I'd like them to show you and to show us. And I challenge them through the Attorney General. Because remember, Madame Claudette is the same one that went around saying that Dr. Mitchell is a part owner in this project and so on, and end up going to court and lose in relation to that. I think she challenged it right now. She appealed the case and so. But she went to court and she lost on this particular issue. Yeah? I know she ever win a case. But anyhow, she lost in relation to this issue. And as Attorney General, remember, by 2019, the government of Grenada instituted an investigation into this project. The results of that investigation is in Claudette Joseph Draw. Just say what I say and don't say what I didn't say. The results of this investigation is in Claudette Joseph Draw as Attorney General. She has access to it. And the government of Grenada is not paying or didn't have to pay under the New National Party or even under the NDC, does not have to pay anybody any $54 million. In fact, the only time any such thing came up was under the same Claudette Joseph. Because while they keep talking about shrimp farm, shrimp farm, shrimp farm, ask them which part of the shrimp farm that the NNP government or this government has to go and pay anybody. Ask them, which part of this thing are you seeing that this government that is here now or the former government have to pay anybody any money in relation to shrimp farm? And I go warn them, careful of what you're saying. Certain people corrupt in relation to this thing because it might just come back and bite all you one of these good days. Yeah, or like to crop a hook crop and this one crop and that one crop. Careful, a little mouth what you say. The Attorney General has the documentation in relation to what I'm talking about. But the same as her leader, the Prime Minister, the same as the entire cabinet, the same as the entire parliamentary team, none of them will open their mouth and correct the ignorance of their supporters that are out there making the nonsensical statements in relation to fowl farm and in relation to shrimp farm. None of them will correct the ignorance of these people. None of them would go out there and say, hey, what you're saying is not true. Let me tell you the right thing. They allow them to say it because they believe there's some political benefit for them to gain out of that. Because really and truly, there are tens of thousands of people in our country and outside who hold that opinion that, hey, that was some kind of crookish thing go down there. NNP was involved and NNP, the party, get a pile of money off of that, or individuals in NNP get a pile of money off of that, and Grenadians left holding the bag. Left holding what bag? What monies does Grenada, the state of Grenada, have to find to pay for anything in relation to that shrimp farm? The same with the fowl farm. The NDC is the one that messed up the fowl farm. You all heard it from Mr. Curtis, but we will play it next week again. We ain't going to play it tonight. We'll play it next week again. In relation to that, folks, the phone lines are open. You could call, 1473-440-7377. They like to talk about shrimp farm. Talk about shrimp farm now. Explain to us where the government of Grenada is indebted to $54 million for the shrimp farm. Explain this to us. Come to us and explain. Don't just make the statement and run. Come with your facts, because as I'm going to say now, I have other documents. I'm just putting forward this document now. There are other documents I could put forward to solidify what I am saying. Various other documents I could put forward. I want to see you all put forward all your documents and tell me what I am saying here is wrong or what I am saying here is a lie. And NNPites, stop letting these people feel like they could just tell all you anything and all you just run from the fight. No, I've given all of the ammunition. So I told you all about fowl farm last week. We went into detail. You understand what took place with the fowl farm from 2002, 2003, come right up to 2013. You know what took place with the fowl farm. You now know what took place with the shrimp farm. When they come to you with the nonsense about NNP caused us so much million with the fowl farm, And how much million with the shrimp farm? Ram it back in their throat. Explain to them, tell them, go and find Jude Bernard and find out about the $500,000. Go and find out from here and Henry Joseph about the $500,000. That's what you have to go and look for. Go and find out about that from them. Find out if they give it back to the government. It came out of the Petro Caribbean Fund. And it was given to them and placed in Scotia Bank in an account that was controlled by them. For a company with a one-man quorum where they could make any decision. And they cannot say that is lie because the documentation is still there. I could have the documentation tonight if I want it. So they want to talk about fowl farm? Talk about fowl farm. Or they want to talk about shrimp farm? Go and talk about shrimp farm. Come with the next one. Come with when already come with the next one. Because that after nearly 3 years, in a few days actually, it's going to be 3 years, in roughly a week. 3 years of the NDC administration. What that to offer you is fowl farm and shrimp farm. They can't come and say, well, we got this project going here, and we have 500 people working on it right now. At the end of it, we're going to have 100 and something people employed. They can't come and tell you that. They can't come and say, well, we're doing this agricultural project here, and 200 farmers have benefited from it, and it's going to increase food production. Instead of the price of fresh fruits and vegetables going up by nearly 17% in the last year, it's going to reduce the cost of food by increasing production and quality. Not just quantity, quality. They can't come and tell you that. They can't come and tell you, well, we're doing this hotel project, or we're doing this manufacturing project. Nothing. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't drink your ginger.
No man could break it down, I say. Jaja build my house. Nobody couldn't tear it down, no way. Jaja build it. My father build my house. Oh Lord.
Yeah, see, I said at the beginning I should have get my ginger tea. I should have stopped and go and get my ginger tea, And it's just right there to go and get it,
And solid rock.
But now, man, we finishing. Yeah.
Solid rock is done.
So I'm telling you, these people continually talk about these things. Now, here's what happened. After the shrimp farm, we put a hold for now on the shrimp farm. We will be coming back to that particular issue. After the shrimp farm, the NNP government said, we're going to amend the CBI legislation. Instead of the funds going directly to the developers, the funds will go to that escrow account. So when you heard about Kimpton by Kawana, the money was not going directly to the developers, the money was going to the escrow account. So you didn't have to go and ask the developers how you spend the money and so on. The money was coming in. You had to ask them still, but the money was coming into the escrow account. And then what the CBI committee would do, they would review where you've arrived. So you say, okay, we in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 is going to cost us, let's say phase 1 is going to cost us $10 million. So you disperse $10 million to them. When you have satisfactorily completed phase 1, then you will disperse money for phase 2, the second tranche. Right? So they have to satisfactorily complete phase 1. What you found happening with the Kimpton by Kawana, in other words, the place where Flamboyant Hotel was, what you saw happening there was after dispersing the money for a particular phase and government asked for the accounting of how the money was spent, it was found that monies that the developers were supposed to be using in Grenada were being used in another country for another project. Now, come on. You expect Grenada to continue giving them money out of the thing? So you had, it was 216 people had paid into that project. 216. The developers decide they want to take Grenada to court because they want their money to do the project. But how could you give them the money when they were not using the money? People get Grenadian citizenship. They didn't get St. Lucian. They didn't get Kittian. They got Grenadian citizenship by paying for a project under Grenada's CBI project in the island of Grenada. What you had happening was they were taking the money. They did the first phase and think they get the money good. There was building, because you see things were built, didn't it? Yeah. So after a while, when you see things slowing down, you say, well, what's going on here? And you ask them to account because they're asking for more money. You could not give them the next set of money. You know why? Because the money that they were supposed to be using in Grenada, they were using in another country. In any form or fashion, that is wrong. Isn't it wrong? So was Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the new National Party administration wrong for stopping the project and doing a review? They were not wrong. In comes the present Prime Minister, because the people now want to be wrong and strong. The people with Kimpton by Kawana want to be wrong and strong, come in and make all kind of statement about Dr. Mitchell and skin tone, all kind of, come and make all kind of statement and thing. So Dr. Mitchell had issued the requirements and so through the CBI committee to do what has to be done. Right. Now, they decided they're going to take government to court because they want to be wrong and strong. They find the money inside there is theirs. So they should be able to utilize it where they want. So they take the government of Grenada to court. And they take the government of Grenada. Under the new National Party, the government was taken to court for doing the right thing. That's what a lot of people don't realize. What Dr. Mitchell and the cabinet at that point in time and the CBI committee at that time was doing was protecting Grenada. Because what you would have had happening is that the other project in the other island would have been completed. And then you would end up in a situation where the one in Grenada wasn't completed, and these people come and say, hey, we need to get some more passports to be able to sell. We need some more citizenships to be able to sell to complete the project here. Meanwhile, they've utilized the funds that should have completed the project in Grenada. They utilize it in another country. That can't happen under Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the NNP. It can't happen under them. So what did they do? The people take us to court because they're wrong and they're strong. In comes Humpty Dumpty and crew. And the Attorney General, who so far we don't know if she could ever win a case. And maybe Humpty Dumpty decided that with the Attorney General that he has, that she really can't win a case, boy, it's best to just give up. And they gave up. They didn't go forward with the case. And then you ended up in a situation, unlike the shrimp farm, where they have to pay back the 216 investors in that development. Because instead of just wrapping it up, they took over, the government of Grenada took over that project. So they did not allow the case to continue. And they took over that Kawana, Kimpton by Kawana project. They took it over. And they reclaimed the property. And as such, because you're dealing with timeshare and so, they had to go back and pay now the 216 people that were investors in that program. Up to now, this NDC administration, they mum on how much money had to be paid to those developers, to those investors. They've told you about the 22 million or so that had to be paid to the developers. That is one set of money that should not have had to be paid. They paid for a case that you would have won, the Grenadian people would have won, that no court in the world go say. That's how you collected money for a project that's supposed to be done in Grenada. And you could have taken the money and do another project outside of Grenada. It's not just your money. It's a money specific to a means and some things specific to a project in Grenada. But this Prime Minister, who it is rumored his political party was funded by the same individuals that take the government of Grenada to court. You hear it all over the place. You hear that rumor that these people put money in the Prime Minister and them hand to campaign in 2022. And as soon as they come in, strange enough, they drop a case that Grenada would definitely have won. No if, what, or but about it, Grenada would have won that case. And they give the people how much? $1 million. And now, because we saw the notice going out a couple months ago, well, quite a few months ago, in relation to all the investors to please contact this law office if you have outstanding interest in that Kawana Bay Hotel. Because these people had to be repaid by the government of Grenada. But Humpty Dumpty and crew refusing to tell you how much money have they spent now on repaying those investors. Everything NDC say does always be the opposite, and it's them that does be doing thing. The fowl farm, you heard was NDC that go and mess up this up for the fowl farm. Curtis Baptiste, long deceased, has said for himself, the NNP dealt with him fairly and transparently. But the NDC, vile. And the man was the campaign manager when they win in 2008, you know. Man was the general secretary of the party and thing, you know. Yeah, and his own party do him that. The same NDC. But as a friend of mine does say, NDC have a way of eating their own after a period of time. Yeah? But when it came to that Kimpton by Kawana, there is still the outstanding question that has to be placed somewhere. I don't know where. But how much money is being paid? You always have an opportunity to ask the Prime Minister a question. Ask him that. You can't hide. You can't hide. Ask him. How much money is being paid to the investors? Forget the developers. You could ask if the developers have been paid. But we want to know how much money is being paid to the investors in the Kawana Bay issue. How much? Tens of millions. Because I think it was somewhere around 56 million was the total amount. So we want to know how much of that has been paid if the people contact, and if they get back their money, and how much people contacted, and how much people were given back their money, and so on. So the people who are talking about shrimp farm, talk about shrimp farm again. Are you talking about fowl farm? Talk about fowl farm again. Enter fowl farm, enter fowl and shrimp all you like. Talk about fowl and shrimp. We could talk about Kimpton by Kawana. We could talk about fowl farm 2 and 500,000. Yeah? We want to hear from you all, since you all like to talk. And NNPI, do not be afraid to confront them and tell them the truth. Do not let them wallow in ignorance. Because for some of them, common sense has been chasing them for a long time, but they have been fleet of foot and able to avoid capture. Those who could understand what I just say. You want me to repeat it? Common sense has been chasing them for a long time, but they have been fleet of foot and able to avoid capture. So try and explain to them. Some of them might be able to understand. Explain the shrimp farm to them. Explain the fowl farms, and then ask them about Kimpton and Kawana. Kimpton by Kawana. Ask them about that. And they want to avoid them question, and they're afraid to answer that. They have a lot to answer. Folks, that's all the time we have for tonight. I can't promise that we're doing a Friday night program. I ain't see, no, people ain't donate. No, I say if people donate, if 10 people did donate tonight, I was going and do the Friday night program. I can't do it just so. All right, folks? So that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. See, we still finish by 10 o'clock. We still finish by 10 o'clock. Let me just give a reminder to you all. Pay attention to the voters list. People are warning all you, because these people have a three-pronged approach to winning a general election, if you could call it winning. It's either they win it outright if the crowd is going behind them. It's either they steal it if NNP fall asleep, if we not checking the voters list, and some of the people under CBI end up as voters in our constituency, because you had constituencies that were won by margins of 10 and 100 and something, 200, it's marginal. So you don't know if they come and they put a 10 people here and a 5 there and a 20 there and a little 80 on the border. You don't know what these people are doing. So it's either if the wind blow and they could really win it, they win it. If they could steal it through voter padding and irregularities in the electoral system, they will do it, because it looks like they want to go to election with this list that is as it is right now, and with people going to register and can't register because they're afraid everybody going and register, because they know those people understand that a vote for anything but the new national party is a vote for the NDC. So those people who go in and register now is NNP they're voting for. And these people are afraid that, because if you vote for anything but the NNP, you're voting for the NDC, because you're voting for the NNP to stay out of office. So they know that to win, they might have to steal it. And the third way they intend to try and get back into office, not win, is to buy the election. When they come and they offer the washing machine and the fridge and the microwave and the TV, take it. Take it and vote them out. Yeah? Take it and vote them Oh, they want to give you a fridge and TV and stove and all kind of thing? They coming around and they want to share bag of money? Take it. Vote them out. It's your money they come in and throw back at you that they thief. So make sure when they come, take it. Yeah? That's all the time we have for talking points tonight and this week. So in everything you say and do it safe and secure. We'll be back on Monday. And as I said, we had a lot of information we just hold on to because there's some questions, some other things that we have to speak on. And we're going to do that on Monday, God's willing, on Talking Points, all right? So love each and every one of you and everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. Let me play my tune again, but I tell you, I'm a tune now, and I'm playing that tune right now. Love you all.
In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. For you, walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. The day was not so moving, but before I got to bed, brother man, I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so different if you didn't love me. I say things could have been so very different if you didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody couldn't break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody couldn't break it down. I say, Jah build it. Jah build my house. On solid rock I stand. Oh, my Father, oh Lord, they can't break it down. The weather keep on changing in a funny kind of way, but I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can't say, but I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if you didn't love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if you didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man could break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody couldn't tear it down. No way. Jah build it. Me Father build my house. Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jah